Moving next, I'd like to invite Mr. Gerasimos Routzounis, Director of Kapa Research and co-founder of Sporos Platform. Mr. Routzounis is going to present the key evidence of the role of SMEs, consumers and citizens in the circular transition. Mr. Routzounis, on you.
Good afternoon. In 2011, the city of Amsterdam developed a program to incentivize electric car sharing companies to operate within the municipality. They created specific permitting, allocated parking spaces to shared electric vehicles, and installed charging stations throughout the city. As a result, an electric car sharing company introduced 350 cars into the city, which are now used an average of 10,000 times weekly among 25,000 subscribers. While it's hard to know how many of those users would have otherwise purchased the car, we do know that roughly 1% of users each year sell their own cars in favor of using this as a permanent option. So how was Amsterdam able to participate in the circular transition so effectively? And how did they do so in a way that benefited business, government, and community interests all at the same time? The answer lies in behavioral science. We know that shifting behavior is difficult, particularly when the initial behavior feels cheap, easy, or widely accepted. Governments, businesses, and marketing agencies across the world have tried to solve this through slogans, or in the case of government, regulations that convince consumers to change behavior. However, these have limited success. Behavioral science and behavioral economics tell us that we need to understand the values and motivations of our target populations and integrate our desired behaviors accordingly. For the purposes of this conversation, let's focus on one of the most powerful and ubiquitous intrinsic motivations. That is cost efficiency. And let's start with the two target audiences whose behaviors are most important for a successful circular transition. That is consumers and firms. Consumer behavior is important because it guides what kinds of products are made to begin with and how they are sold or delivered. To study this, we've conducted a SNAP consumer survey in Greece, through which we collected information on the key measures of consumers' engagement in the circular economy. And these have to do with the extent to which consumers value durability, repairability, and recyclability in their decision on what to purchase. The results indicate that indeed, consumer behavior is changing. People seem to value the importance of products' durability at a higher than ever rate. That is 34 to 46% across product categories, with almost 60% saying they are willing to pay more for durable products, and almost 80% tending to keep products for longer periods of time than expected. Especially younger consumers seem to consider price-quality ratio more important than any other feature of the products they purchase. Durability is in fact valued more than whether the production company is socially and environmentally responsible, again, in all the main non-food product categories. In other words, for a young woman born after 1995, it is not enough to know that a shoe brand helps fight climate change with donations or PR campaigns to end up purchasing its shoes. After all, PR campaigns and donations don't reduce her overall financial outlay. Knowing her shoes will last for a longer time, however, presents two simultaneous benefits: cost efficiency and reduced waste. Now, when it comes to repairability and recyclability, repairing is popular but not ubiquitous, with around half of consumers, that is 52%, saying they are willing to pay more for easy to repair products, while recyclability, although ranked lower, is increasingly important as a product feature. Again, for younger segments, all these numbers are significantly higher. The circular economy argument for consumers is therefore simple and straightforward. Products that last longer and are easier to repair or recycle may save you money over time. This is born out of the fact that while consumers prefer durability and sustainability at high rates, relatively few of them, roughly 12%, are familiar now with the discussion around the circular economy. Sustainability, therefore, needs to be coupled with cost efficiency for it to be truly resonant with the consumer population. Now turning to the challenge of small, medium enterprises. Producing firms, being profit-maximizing entities, are also eager to save money over time, and the circular transition for firms, especially SMEs, in the manufacturing, the agri-food sector, seems to have become a financial matter rather than just a marketing PR practice. The trends in consumer behavior make it inevitable for firms to adjust how they make and sell their products. It simply increases revenue streams by making products and services more attractive to consumers. Besides making sense for revenue, the circular transition becomes increasingly necessary for firms as it also achieves significant reduction in production and operation costs. Indeed, based on the enterprise surveys implemented by Kapa Research on behalf of the World Bank in Greece and 11 other countries in the region, 9 out of 10 Greek companies that have innovated in the production process in the last 3 years have done so with the main criterion being the reduction of operation costs. This is also one of the main findings of the Circular Economy Market Study that was also implemented by Kapa Research on behalf of Sporos Platform. Indeed, the main reason why SMEs would modify their production model is to achieve cost savings. This is followed by creating new revenue streams, attracting new customers, gaining a competitive advantage, and improving resource efficiency. These companies, however, have not yet leveraged the cost efficiencies associated with the circular economy to unlock a large segment of cost savings. Said another way, these companies are leaving enormous cost-saving opportunities on the table by ignoring the benefits of a circular transition. More specifically, in terms of resource efficiency, we know that around 80% of firms do not employ technology to minimize or monitor their energy and water consumption. And when it comes to waste management, we know that 4 out of 10 SMEs currently do not recycle, reuse, recover, nor regenerate their waste. When asked why, the lack of financial options and expertise were the 2 main reasons. Similarly, when it comes to R&D activities, around 80% of Greece's SMEs have not invested in R&D in the last 3 years, citing again the lack of financial options and the lack of knowledge as the 2 main reasons for not investing in improving the life cycle of their products. So what do SMEs need to achieve better resource management, reduce their waste, and adapt to the shifts in consumer attitudes? An equity boost, loans, or just cash grants? According to this market study, the answer is not that simple. While the lack of financing indeed seems to be a significant factor hindering the capacity expansion of SMEs, pure debt or pure equity instruments are not in high demand these days. Specifically, the systemic bank's reputation remains quite disappointing following the intense recession period, whereas state grants require equity participation rates that still seem quite demanding for SMEs in transition. Instead, hybrid financing, that is performance-based, focused, rather than collateral-based, is overwhelmingly preferred by 72% of the Greek SMEs to any other form of financing, especially when it comes to growth and expansion stage SMEs. In fact, the more relevant the circular economy's activities are, the more willing an SME is to utilize performance-focused financing tools to fund its expansion. This is where Sporos comes in. With a diverse team of partners and advisors who have deep knowledge and experience 2 years now in the solutions required for our economy's most pressing problems, Sporos is on its way to becoming the first successful impact investing fund focused on the circular economy in the region. This will be accomplished by evaluating more than 2,000 expansion stage SMEs over the next 5 years using strict eligibility criteria and eventually devoting more than 45 million euros to support a diverse group of 30 or so firms in becoming role models of sustainable growth in Greece. So why have we chosen to focus on our work on the circular transition of SMEs in Greece? Because they are the segment with the most potential for a generation-defining change, as well as the most room to grow. Despite companies' limited investments in the circular transition, consumers have already started to shift their preferences and demand more. This is coupled with ambitious government initiatives, like the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, which dedicates 38% of its total funding to green growth projects. The time has come for local business community across all sectors, including banks, to not only catch up to consumers and government, but to become leaders in the circular economy and regain the prestige they once held in Greek society. And we are prepared to help them succeed. After all, engaging in the circular economy is a matter of economic survival, be it through better value for money for consumers or through long-term cost efficiency improvements for producers. It will eventually become the only viable path for the private sector. No matter how we call the new dream of the century, American dream, European dream, the new Greek dream, you name it, the green dimension will be universal. And this is a big tectonic change. A strong momentum is building up. This transition is future-proof, it is inevitable, and it has already begun. Thank you.